Hey fam, what's going on? This is Jessica Pickens. Welcome to Pickens Realities, our Blended Family Truths podcast.
I can say this for me. I did not have a very good handbook, a good playbook to pull from. Mm-hmm. The information that I had was jagged up. Mm-hmm. As much as they wanted it to be good, there were a lot of flaws with it. Mm-hmm. So, were we building the plane as we were flying it? Yes. You know, even in our case, we were literally building the plane. We didn't even have a plane. We was like, where the parts at while we was in air?
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to say is, in some cases, only Jayla, if you think it's healthy to peel an onion, I'm willing to peel that onion. If it's something that we need to revisit so that you have a better understanding from my perspective, then let's do it. Because our continued collective health is more important to me today than I thought it was back then. You are extremely important to me, extremely. And I tell you that all the time. You're my baby. And I'll be careful. Your siblings ain't gonna watch this, but Gabby's gonna see this.
No, she not.
She doesn't watch it.
You're my favorite child. I love you.
Because I'm Dealy, the greatest, the all-knowing, the best daughter, the best mother, the best sister, the best brother.
This gonna be the one episode Gabby too.
Right. Well, like that.
But with that being said, like you said, for peeling the onion, utilize that, Jayla, as also being a better mom, growing to be a better mom, wanting to be a better mom, needing to be a better mom for your child and your future children.
For sure.
So if there's stuff that still need to be said, have that conversation.
Yeah.
If
questions asked,
If,
and then different stuff works for different kids. You know this
honestly,
already.
I feel like,
but also if moms and dad, maybe still pull out that card like that didn't happen. Hey, remember episode blah blah blah. Like let's lead a different way. And
that's right.
Again, maybe it didn't happen for you that way, but it happened for me that way, and I just want you to acknowledge that. So use your words better to help them use their words better, and then y'all can grow closer.
Yeah.
Oh, the unfortunate part about all of that is, no, but for real, like the unfortunate part about all of that is, peeling the onion is great, but I don't care to, because it doesn't. Like
it's not
at this
just about
point,
you,
right? But it doesn't. Like at this point, it doesn't do much for me.
But
it doesn't
not just for you is what I'm trying to say. For
no.
Isabel as
I
well.
know, but so because of the conversations that we have on the podcast, I do get different perspectives, but it does also allot me the opportunity to be like, you know what, I'm not going to do this with my baby, or I understand why. So that's why I explained to my child, okay, like you finna irritate me because you're doing X, Y, and Z, because you know what I'm saying? But it's just like me rehashing stuff that I feel like is going to bother me, or it's just going to be a situation where it's like, okay, we talked about it. We got each other's perspectives.
Yeah, it's like asking for an apology or trying to release
But I don't
somebody.
want an apology.
No. I'm just saying the example what happens in my head when you're talking is when we need to let somebody go or say, I'm done with you. It's important to understand that if I come to Jayla and say, you hurt me, and I lay it all out, just an example, I lay it all out and she doesn't respond. You have to be willing to understand that when you are releasing somebody or you need to give person information, they're not going to respond the way you need them to.
Right.
And so you have to be open to the fact that as long as you get it off you, then you're good. So just remember that. And again, I'm not saying that in a negative way, but if there are things that we need to discuss then, and if you feel like you want to discuss them, then yes, let's do that. And I can't speak for, mom and mom, but I'm just saying for me. And I'll say this and then I'll back up. Another thing that I have found myself doing, and you may have recognized it, you may not, is I'm trying to make up. And I've done it subliminally. And then when I step back, I'm like, oh, like for instance, your car. And you were asking me, you were like, why are you doing this? And I was like, because you're my daughter, because I love you. And so there are little things that I know that you need that I try to do, to Wendy's point, because there are things in the back of my head that are being pulled out in this setting, and I feel like I'm trying to make up for it.
Yeah, Wendy told me that because I showed her. I'm like, it's too little, too late now. I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Like, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, but I wish you would take. I mean, but I would encourage you to take a moment and pause and appreciate it, because you.
I mean, I appreciate it.
It's not.
But it's just like
never too late.
I'm 30 now.
It's
30.
Yeah, but you're not dead,
So,
and he's not dead.
Yeah, but it's just
you
like,
can't count.
You know what? I'm going to honestly say that you are saying that you don't care, but I believe you do.
I feel like you do as well.
I honestly,
it matters in the long run.
It does, because we can say all day long, and I know I can do it, and you are 7 times more than me. So I can say all day long, I don't care about certain situations. But deep down inside,
You do.
I do. Because it'll hit through Isabel.
But I intentionally have, like, the moment I got pregnant with my kid and found out it was a girl, I'm like, therapy. Because no, seriously, because the things that I've experienced, I'm like, I never want to be the parent that I received, and I never want to be
Which parent?
all of y'all.
Be careful. Be
Really?
careful.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I never want to. I never want to. No, I'm being so serious.
Were we
like,
that bad?
But again,
It's
from
not
her
even-
This is
perspective,
her
From your
truth.
perspective,
This is her truth.
Were
This
we
is her
that
truth.
bad?
I don't want to say you guys were bad.
But
I just
obviously there were
know
certain
that a
things
lot of things, like,
What's
That-
one thing you feel like I could have changed or did differently?
This is going to be another segment.
yeah, this might have to be both episodes today.
well,
for real.
For real.
And that's okay.
What's one thing?
you want to talk about the hair situation? Because that bothered you.
What did I do to your hair?
We can talk about the hair situation because it's like 80 million from like every which parent. I'm just like, but no, it just, now let me say this with disclosure. I am not saying these people is bad people. I'm not saying I had the worst upbringing. I'm not saying they sucked and all the things, but I feel like there were a lot of things that have transpired that were just less than satisfactory. So there's that.
She said less than
I just.
So, yeah.
That's all I can.
Okay, so give me.
So okay, like the hair situation. Like if I didn't want my hair a certain way, it would be like, girl, shut up, I'm doing your hair. Like, I'm the mama. You know, like, I know what I'm talking about.
Like when I would put it in ponytails?
No, sweetheart.
What are you talking about?
Give her the most recent.
Oh, for example, a couple of months ago, when you flat ironed my hair, and I told you not to put the grease in my hair, and you're like, it's not going to be that much. And I'm like, no, because it's going to make my hair stiff. I don't want my hair stiff. And you're like, girl, it's not going to be that much. Proceeds to put the grease in my hair. Proceeds to flat iron the hair. And you know, the girls that know when they flat iron the hair and they not combing through it, they just doing this to your hair, it's stiff. You can't even feel it slap the back. You see this?
And
you can't
Jayla
feel
took
that.
hat off. Jayla
Boy,
said,
when I tell you,
And it didn't
I was
move.
like, and I was so blue because I'm like, bro, like, and then it's the girl, you don't put grease in your hair. Your hair is only thick. This is the thickest it's ever been because you. And it's just like, bro, I understand all of that, but if I don't want my hair to be flat ironed with grease,
It's only thick because she's using my product.
Oh,
but
here we
again,
go.
the
product is
mas-
beautiful. Product is
the
amazing.
master's
But this
hands.
is what I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
it's just like, this is that stuff like that is what happened. And honestly, that is the epitome of the story of my life with all three.
So, one, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And two,
Body autonomy is a thing.
And-
Let's be cognizant of the fact that I said, hey, mom, don't put all that grease in my hair. If you
Okay.
don't put it a lot.
okay, all right.
But then
And then when I flat ironed your hair was stiff. Okay, all right.
but
you feel me?
the point here
Okay, so you should have just said, Mom, but you literally wild out on me.
Because I shouldn't have to tell somebody 50 million times I don't want something.
First of all, and I'm going to say this to you, like I said when you was a kid, I'm your mama.
And that's the problem. That's the problem.
As adults,
that is the problem.
There was no at that moment. It felt to me, and you've done this to me several times. At some points, you have no level of respect
because
for me.
I'm an adult. Y'all don't have a level of respect for me at this point. As we're adults.
But
you get what you give. I understand that you're my parent. I respect I respect my parents. I am patient with my parents. I'm kind to my parents.
Absolutely
but
not.
After
she said I was going to a nursing home.
Bro.
As am I.
But I think the point
I didn't make the cut, so there's no application. She's assuming one of my bios is going to step up. But again, I've already been told she's only got two people to
listening to your children.
I'm going to take it way deeper. Forget listening to your children. I'm going to take it way deeper. Y'all be so quick to tell me, like, you're so mean, you're so harsh, you're so, like, rude or whatever, right? That's the ultimate quickness in response to me, because if I'm saying what I'm saying in a nice way, it don't get heard. If I'm saying what I'm saying in a calm way, it don't get heard. So if I'm telling somebody not to touch me multiple times and you keep touching me, you think it's a game, you think it's funny. Oh, I'm your parent. You're entitled to touching me?
Yes.
No, you're not. So now I'm on defense with you, and now I'm about to start talking to you in a manner that clearly you only respond to and only adhere to or acknowledge or whatever, that it resonates with you, because now I'm going to start being a bitch. Now I'm going to start being rude. Now I'm going to start talking to you crazy. Because if I can't tell you I don't want something without you feeling offended or without you disregarding what I'm saying, then okay, I will be mean. I will be the villain in your eyes. I will be the disrespectful person. I will be the rude person. And I don't care. And that's why, like, from a child and a very, very young age, like 4 or 5, telling a parent something about how I feel or what I've experienced and it be disregarded. And it's happened since I was like 4 to now.
See, I think it's unfair for you to make that as 100% categorization, Jayla, because that is not at all. We had lots of conversations where we were trying to understand where you're coming from, and you were
trying to understand where I'm coming from with the preconceived notion that whatever I'm saying doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you're in my house. You got to abide by my rules. You got to listen to what I got to say. The clothes situation, Jayla. Bro, the clothes situation, trying to get down to the bottom of why you're doing this or what it doesn't matter what I say, because at the end of the day, I'm not buying my clothes. I have to wear what you want me to wear. I have to do what you want me to do. And that's that. And so now I'm getting grease put in my hair, and I said I didn't want to get grease in my hair. So now I'm rude because now I'm japping out. Because, bro, why do I have to tell you as a grown adult that I don't want something and you disregard it? That's disrespectful. That's rude. That's wild. But now I'm the bad guy. I'm mean. I'm rude. I'm harsh, and all the things.
So that segues into our
ignore.
Next topic, though.
Mm-hmm. Look, you didn't ask one question out of
But that actually segues into the next topic, entitlement. Do you feel that, as parents, do you feel that you're entitled to know all information about what's going on? And not with just Jayla, like with the kids?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
No. As they are adults.
I'm like, what age category? What time frame are we talking about?
We can talk about now,
because they're the grown adults. No,
absolutely not. I don't, and honestly, I don't even care to know everything. If you want to talk to me and tell me, and okay, no problem. I mean, that's how I live my life, even with people. I don't want to know what you got going on unless you want me to know, because
deep down I don't care.
I care, but I don't care.
I've had to learn to like stop asking, because I am in a phase right now where I understand that there's just a lot going on, and y'all are trying to figure out where you are as adults. Mm-hmm. And so I have had to learn to back up and stop asking, because a lot of times my opinion or my thought on how to handle something is going to differ, greatly. And that's another reason why I've been communicating with all of my adult children that don't have their residence here. And while you may be back here temporarily right now, it's still a delicate thing to balance, because I still give you your space and ask when I feel like it's appropriate to ask. Now, for my younger two that are in college and they come, well, I'm still giving them more. This is the most that I have purposely gone, okay, let me back up. It's time to allow folks to figure out who they are, right? But here's the tricky part about that. Because then you have to understand, because then but if somebody needs something, oh baby, trust and believe, phones are gonna ring. And that can be hurtful, because it's okay, you ain't got nothing for me until you need something. You don't have nothing to say to me until you need something.
Okay.
So then that feels one-sided, and it feels like not real relationship. It feels like that's all you care about, is you only need me when you need me.
But how often do we actually call our parents and really
Touche.
talk to them?
I talk to my mom pretty regularly. Well, more. Believe it or not, she's a bigger texter than me. She prefers texting over FaceTiming. But it's not even about, it's more, and actually to your point, that's a fair point. It's because I believe in the word and I want to reap what I sow. And God often stands on my head, because, me and my mom still, we're not where I wish we were.
They still beefing.
Well, we're not beefing. We're not. We don't have the relationship that I
Y'all
wish that
beefing.
we had.
So you and your mom are like Jayla and you.
I feel like me and Jayla are way closer at this point than me and my mom.
In some instance.
Yeah.
Y'all bicker. Y'all like oil and water to me. Y'all really are, because y'all be having spats, tantrums, I think.
Where does that word come from?
Jayla?
Whatever. Well, see. But see, Jayla still does what she used to do, which is you're going to catch the side of her when she's upset. I'm like, tantrums and spats?
She throws tantrums.
Okay,
But you're saying y'all. Like, I'm like,
No, I'm saying Jayla. Jayla throws tantrums, and it comes out. To me, when she does that, she's throwing tantrums like she did this morning. I feel like her breakdown was her tantrum. And hey, just calm down. Just sit. I got you.
Why did I break
do
down
that.
this morning? Because I have this unnecessary gene called sweat that I get from Tyrone. Okay?
I don't sweat.
It's an unnecessary sweat, right?
I don't sweat.
I sweat for the it's like Gabby has it too. Like, she sweats so much. I sweat so much, and it just bothers me. I'm out. I get out the shower. The shower regulates your body temperature. I am sweating. Okay, I just blew dry my hair. I got all the windows open, the fan on. I am sweating.
I don't sweat.
And so I'm bothered, because I'm like, bro, like, this is irritating. This is very irritating. So yes, I got bothered.
So let me throw this out there.
And instead of, I feel like a temper tantrum is me tweaking with y'all when y'all was banging on the door. Police, we gotta open the door.
That was
just
Wendy.
being
That's
silly.
your girl.
No, that's what I'm saying. But if I was like really like in my feelings about nothing, like, and just being pissy to be pissy, I would be tweaking with everybody. Stop banging on the door. But I was just like, bro, like, I'm sweating. This is about to blow me.
I just ignore.
So, to Jeri's point, Jessica's point, yes. I shouldn't say yes. To their point, there is limited contact. I have limited contact with my mom. Not as much as I used to have.
Oh, because you were I was like, what topic you were talking about entitlement? Do we feel like we are entitled to know everything about our grown kids?
So,
what they have going
so
on?
the other piece is when I hear this, I think about my great aunt who has passed away. Whenever I would go back home to where I grew up at, she would always say, "Oh, y'all done put me down. Y'all don't come and see me." And in my head, I'm like, man, I would just go and kick it with my brothers and sisters, and I would see her on the back end. Mm-hmm. And so now thinking about that and thinking about where we are, it kind of brings it full circle. It really does. And so the next piece of, and so that kind of makes sense. But the other piece is, do I want to know everything? I don't need to know, but do I know more than probably the two of you? I do. Simply because I'm giving instruction on how to handle certain things. I have stuff, and we talked about this, I have stuff about all of them that I haven't given to you, and quite frankly, you don't want. And some of it, I handle just simply because I'm dad. It's like, bro or sis, this is how this needs to play out. And now we're at the stage of, if I were you, I don't tell them what to do anymore, because we've had the conversation. I am 70% or 80% friend and 20% father.
He's adversarial. She's clerical. She's crazy. No, I'm kidding.
But in the other thing too, like right now, I think the one thing that gets complicated, particularly with Marche, is because when you find yourself back, taking a moment to level set and reset, and you're like, you being back here, that's a different level of expectation and transparency and communication that needs to occur, because out of respect, you're in a place where, yes, you're grown, yes, you're a mom, but the expectation is in a different window, because you got to communicate about what's going on and where things are, and okay, what's the game plan, etc. Whereby, just like when you had your place before, and then when you move to your next phase, then again, when you out on your own, right? And so I think also some of that right now, because nobody would it was no different than when I moved back home with my mom when I had Jayla, right? And I had my sister go, and I had to have somebody teach me, no, you don't matter that you were growing up with a kid. When you have to take that step back because you're level setting, you now have an obligation to make sure that you are being respectful and communicating and asking, well, what are the ground rules? Whether it's a different place to be, right? So that's a little bit different versus when your grown kids are just,
I don't know,
they out on their own, and they doing what they do.
I don't know. I feel entitled to a degree, because one, God gave you me, and God gave me you, as well as Eric and Dominique. So he entrusted me with a gift to help cultivate and nourish.
Come on now,
and I have, and I've been doing that. Will it ever stop? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You'll always be my baby. But there's a level of respect and reverence that you should have that I feel you don't have. And does that bother me at times? Yeah. And I tell you guys, y'all act like I'm not your mama. Y'all don't even respond to my text. I mean, but what you guys don't get, and probably won't get until your guys get out of the house, is when they're gone, they're gone.
Yep.
Literally, they might be just down the street, but when they're gone, they're gone. Your lives are now your lives. And it's like, we've had you all of our lives. Now what do? Why do y'all think I'm here so much? I mean, it's just me. So I'm here because I miss you guys. And then two, going all the way back to accountability and the first question, I missed a lot of their lives because
That's fair.
I was always at work.
Yeah, that's fair.
Always at work. If I wasn't, I never had just one job. I've had 2, 3, and 4 jobs. So I was always at work. So when the kids wanted to do something or had different practices wherever, I couldn't get to you guys all the time because I was always at work, because I was making sure that this household was taken care of. That bill was taken care of. When you guys called and needed something, I was Johnny on the spot for that. And, I made sure that everything was taken care of on this end, so you guys were taken care of. So I missed a lot. So now you guys have kids, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm getting make up for it now. I'm coming there all the time, and then you guys want to say, those are our kids. Yeah, they are. They really are. But allow us to be. Let me help you. Because we
don't disrespect my parental authority in the process.
Right.
That's what I feel like happens a lot.
And we try not to.
Do that.
No, that you can't. And that's your problem.
And see, that's
because
what
you didn't like it when my mom did it. So
Yeah.
that's not fair for you.
We
to
don't
say.
like
it when y'all
we don't
parents
like
do it. So
it.
why would y'all do it to
don't.
somebody? I don't like
We
the fact that
didn't.
it's always oh, well, we should be able to do this. Or but y'all don't like when y'all parents do it. Y'all don't like when people do it to y'all. So y'all expect us to be okay
but
with y'all
crazy.
doing it
My
to us.
parents never did
This
it.
is a fair point.
Never did it.
Fair point.
But with you guys, I don't know. It's like your generation, for whatever reason, y'all don't want to listen and glean from things that we've done and have had to live through to make your lives better. Because
We
I'm
do,
telling you,
but I feel like you guys want us to do every single thing because you have wisdom. You went through this. Y'all don't, I feel like y'all don't take in the fact that we are adults.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to struggle how y'all had to struggle. It's not our fault that y'all wanted to make a better life for y'all kids. So now y'all mad at us because we never struggled how y'all struggled and we don't have to go through what y'all went through.
Absolutely
And then
not.
some of the things that we do go through, maybe we do want to figure it out on our own. If we ask, we will ask. If
Exactly.
we not asking, why is you giving information?
But that's why
Why
I
are you
say,
telling us
Because
we
I don't
have
wanna
to do
know.
X,
we don't
Y, and
want you to
Z?
bump your head the way we bumped our
I
head.
do.
Okay.
I want them to bump their
Okay,
head.
so
I do.
If you don't
Bump.
want us to bump
Here, let
your
me help you.
head, then guess what? If we don't want your advice, you can't make us feel bad for not wanting to use a number 2 pencil because we have a mechanical pencil. And you think number 2 pencils are the best pencil because that's all you use all your life. Whole time a mechanical pencil, write the same way, but it lasts longer because you had all this stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can't make me feel bad because I don't want what you're giving me. If I want it, I will receive it with open arms. I will retain the information that you give me, so on and so forth.
So I think the most difficult thing for you all, and then I'll let you go, Jess. I shouldn't say the most difficult thing. One of the difficulties that you all have is that you have 2 sets of parents and you have 2 sets of perspectives and you have, varying degrees of
I think it's all good.
how and why things should go. And so I think that does make it difficult, but maybe not. Jess.
I thought she already answered.
I really do feel like, to a degree, I feel entitled, but then I don't want to know because my heart as a parent, I'm going to want to do. I'm going to want to give you advice. But I know that if I yield my tongue and let God bridle it, sometimes you'll figure it out. Y'all all will, because I had to. So I want you to figure it out. That's why I don't, I might call and just say, hey, I'm just checking on you. And every now and again, I'll say, hey, is everything okay? Or what's going on? You sure you okay? But I'm not going to, I definitely don't want you guys to feel like I just have to be in your business. I don't want to know your business. That's your business. You're an adult. Take pride in that. Learn to figure it out. Because what you're going through, or what Eric or Dom or Wendy are going through, you're going to in turn have to teach your kids. And the same way that we're talking to you guys, I guarantee you, you're going to say, when Isabel comes to you and say, Mom, so you're going to say, well, I know I try to say this to you. Well, I did this. Or if you do it like this, but it's your world, do what you got to do.
So today's word of the day starts with the letter P, perspective.
Perspective.
So to bring that back, I think looking on the outside looking in, because whenever I just watch you all talk to y'all kids.
But you're one of our kids.
Listen, like I think there needs to be more of because you both said I want you to bump your head, and you're saying no, come to me, come, so that way I can give you the tools.
Say nothing to that.
I'm on this side. I think it needs to be more of leading with a suggestion, and it shouldn't
That's what
be.
I do.
You don't think so?
I like I said, it should be leading with suggestions. It's a lot more of, well, you should try to do that. You should do that. It's not a lot of, like, for example, there's times where we talk about Jayla and how she parents Isabel. There's one side where it's like, we don't say something, we make faces. There are sides where we're just like, stop talking to her like that. You shouldn't be talking to her like that. Why isn't it more of a, have you tried going this route instead of this route? Because it seems like you've been doing this for a couple weeks and it's not working.
Because we get that.
But again, it's more of stop doing that.
Hey, look, Jayla's
No,
mean.
I don't say stop doing that. I say
And
relax.
y'all hear what's coming out their mouth, G, and y'all wonder why I act the way I act.
So
Because I'm
Jayla,
always rude. I'm always mean. I'm always
It's not what you
not
say, it's how
caring.
you say it.
And it's not what you say, but how you say
listen,
it.
Look how
listen.
you
Let me
saying
let me qualify. Hey. Let me qualify really fast, and then y'all can continue to
ew, don't do that.
Well,
continue to argue or disagree.
Yeah.
I always tell you, and I always tell you, you two are phenomenal moms.
Phenomenal. Yes.
Our grandchildren are
Hold on.
blessed. Yeah, what's up?
I'm waiting for the confetti. I don't see it.
right.
But it's okay. Go.
The two of you are phenomenal moms. I mean, Zeke is a 4-year-old prodigy. He's intelligent. Isabel is a 3-year-old prodigy.
She's 4 now. Oh, wait, it's
No,
not
she's
September
See,
yet. Jesus, this is taking forever. for her
Nova just
birthday.
turned 4. Yeah, remember Zeke, Nova, Izzy.
Right.
I keep calling her 4. I'm like, this child ain't even 4 yet.
So our grandchildren are very blessed to have you all as moms. They really are. And so we don't
He said,
discount.
yeah.
That's my mom's over there. We never discount what you have done, what you are doing.
Absolutely not.
And so we try, I can't say we, I interject at times because I do not want you all to repeat what we did, especially now knowing some of the things. And so it's never coming from a place of being malicious.
I don't think it's ever
it is
that.
more a place of helpfulness. And if you ask any of my 6 children, they will tell you that I always say, now you can do what you want to do. You, don't I say that?
All the time.
Yeah.
I
You can
hear
do what
it.
you want to do. You ain't giving me the support here.
Yes.
I'm going to say it again. I always say,
I'm not around when you always talk to them.
okay, 90% of the time,
Tyrone, pick.
Talking about 90%.
Come
You don't
on,
need me to
come on.
co-sign. You know what you say.
I need you to co-sign.
No.
So I do say, at the end of the conversation, here's what I would do. I've had that conversation with you, Rain. I've had that conversation with you. Have I not? So the choice is yours. So I'm not, in my opinion, trying to make you do anything. I'm not trying to make you do anything. I'm just trying to give you information so that you can make the best decision possible.
But think about all the children out there that don't have a living parent
Or that
Or
have living parents that
are
not
not
involved.
intentional in their lives.
Yeah.
Think about the babies that don't have intentional grandparents in their lives and that is not willing to be so supportive in their lives, or parents that are still willing to be supported in their adult children's lives. There's a lot. And some of these people out here is just fried, dyed, and laid to the side, and they're wishing that they had parents. And I hear it all the time. I hear people just enamored of how blended we are, that it is actually a blended family, and it's not just for camera, it's for real. I mean,
I'm trying to get to, what's the premise of the point you were making though? Because I wanted, when you're saying, well, why don't y'all say it? Because again, I think there's a lot of overgeneralization. That's how I feel. Like
No. I'll yell at Isabel and you'll be like, you ain't got to talk to her like that. There's different ways you can talk. Like, that's what you may not say it like how I just said it
like that.
But you say you don't
relax.
have to talk to,
and that is
exactly
correct,
relax. You don't have to talk to her.
her.
Yeah, but y'all didn't see the 17 million times I just told her to stop doing something.
can't even
All
count
y'all
that.
see is
I
me
understand.
saying, stop before I knock you out. Now I'm tweaking and doing too much, but y'all didn't see the 17 other million times I said, Isabel, sweetheart, please stop. Honey, I'm not going to ask you again. Stop. Naomi, stop it. Okay.
Yeah, but
and now when I get to the point
I'm
of
trying to ask the premise of
now is you doing too much.
you were coming from, you're going, well, why don't you all as parents say it this type of way? It's no different than we could sit here all day and say, well, why don't you all as kids respond this way? Adult kids, right? And so a lot of it is the reality. Z. Okay, babe, thank you. We're generational shifts and how we came up and how we were raised. While I'm grateful that we are still willing to adapt and learn and grow to a large degree, to a certain degree. Jeri going, not me. See, but see, that's why they got Mom Jeri, they got Mom Jess, right? And so
Jeri,
from
like,
the
point 'em out,
perspective
knock 'em out.
yeah,
For real.
but for me to like choose like where I'm at right now to go, let me just back up and get out of folks, business, because if they want relationships are two-way streets.
It is.
And so when I pause and go, all right, let me check in on the grown children that aren't, okay, I'll call once a week or once every couple of weeks, or, like with Urain, I called him a couple of weeks ago, like, okay, I'm checking in on, of course, Urain's deal is, I ain't got nothing to talk about. Yeah. So,
10 days later.
You can't, then it looks different with different kids because you have different kids and you have different ones who want to engage in a closer, tighter relationship with this parent or that parent. And so things shift, right?
And you know what? I feel like I'm the only kid that got the closest relationship with all three of y'all bald-headed selves. Y'all always calling me mean and rude. And I'm the only one that lived out of the wherever I was living.
You do.
I would come over here almost every weekend, almost every week with my baby and come just kick it with y'all. I sit and talk. We will sit on the phone and not talk about nothing. Okay, me and you.
Y'all like high school sweethearts.
And just be breathing.
Right.
And I am mean and rude and disrespectful.
But again, perspective.
I love you.
That'd be crazy to me.
I love you.
So
next question, Wendy.
I love you.
Go ahead, Wendy.
It segues.
So everything segues.
He could.
So
that's how I be feeling when I be doing this. Like, dang, y'all leading to the right thing.
So with that being said, this is a safe space, right?
Is it?
We
listen
Right,
and we
right.
don't judge.
I'm finna pull the pin from the grenade.
Look,
Calvin, be prepared to pause.
here you go.
Apparently.
I'm taking my earrings off.
I'm taking my rings off.
Yeah.
He just saw you. He's like,
No. Can we discuss some things that need to be said about each other's parenting that we feel could use some work?
okay.
What do you mean? Each other who?
All four of us?
Well, I want it to be like
What is happening?
from
Let that baby
you
play with his
three
brother.
having the kids grow up. What were some things that you feel like could have changed and that would have made an impact now? And one of the things that you guys mentioned earlier was the communication, better communication.
I would have went to the Army.
For certain things, like for me, I'm in a blended family, right?
Yep, we're all blended,
And then Jayla's going to be in a blended family when she decides to get married, when she will get married. So
The
it's
only
like,
older child who's not is Dominic.
Yeah.
And praying that he holds fast
Right.
and ain't no bubbles, no troubles. He'll be
Dom
the
and
only one.
Marissa
The other
locked in.
three-
Right.
Every time I see her, she's smiling. She's
They the
like,
same
But
person.
the
Dominique
other
and
three already
Marissa,
have
they
blended
like-
families. blended and double blended.
Well, and
Right, so-
prayerfully, Gabby and
Dawson.
and
But
Dawson.
I'm talking about the top four.
Right, no,
we're
that's what
talking
I'm
about
saying.
the adult
Dawson
kids.
is questionable. Okay.
Papa
So again, with
was
that
a
being said, what are
rolling
some
stone.
things that you can give us that you feel like you guys could have changed? And what are some things now? Do you feel like there's something now that within you three's parenting that we could possibly learn from, take from, to utilize?
I'll start.
She's talking to
I said
us.
them.
Oh.
I'm like, she's talking to us.
I was gonna say I'll start with like something that all three of y'all can work on.
Okay.
Not being offended when your children decide to be adults.
It's hard. And it is hard.
Particularly when it still impacts you. Yeah. So there are situations where it still impacts us. And so it feels, I'll use the word disrespectful, but also just non-adulting when there are situations where your decisions directly impact your parent. Because if your parents are helping you with something and they're tied to your decisions, being an adult means you have an obligation to communicate what's going on because you're impacting someone else, whether that's your parent, when it becomes to your spouse, whatever may have you. It's different if you're in your silo. Yeah, and you're the only one allegedly being impacted, which the other part of growing up too is understanding that your decisions are always going to impact somebody else.
Yeah.
Really. If you've got a family of people who love you, even when you think, oh, this ain't about nobody else but me, other people are impacted by your decisions. That they are. And so it's not so much about getting offended. It's one going, hey, if I'm directly impacted because I was helping you in this situation and your decisions are impacting me in A, B, C, or D lane. And then number two, it's what Jeri alluded to earlier. When you're there and you want to be there for your adult children and you know that you've got something to give, whether it's even just saying, I'm here if you just need an ear or whatever, some of that is maturity because you have the right to say, I don't need an answer. I just need to vent. This is me venting. Yeah. But like what Jeri alluded to earlier, that's why I'm like, perceptions be a mug. And she's like, y'all be having tantrums. I'm like, who be having tantrums? But when you vent, Jayla, you be going off. And so the perception you give to your mom, if me and you have gotten into what I may see as a minor, oh, whatever, when you release that and you tell your mom whatever happened, it comes across like it was this big old ordeal.
Or no, I say both sides and it be what it be. I mean, that's quite literally what it is. That's the same thing as, again, I feel like there becomes a lot of offense, especially when we talk about things that have happened in the past. And like, I promise you, I'm not going to do how I was done, or I'm not going to, this is why I choose to let my kids dress themselves. This is why I choose to let my kid, this is why I choose to let my kid tell me they don't want something. And it's like, oh, I guess we're just the worst parents, huh? Like, whoa, we never said that. But why are you getting offended because of me expressing my experiences or me saying, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm an adult. I feel like now that we've gotten to a stage of being above 18 and feel more comfortable expressing our emotions, because we feel like at this point, what you gonna do, whoop me? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, because we've gotten to a point where we're finally comfortable speaking up for ourselves because we felt like that wasn't a thing. It's taken as offense, disrespectful, rude, and all the things.
So could you restate the question for me?
Can we discuss some things about each other's parenting that we feel like could use some work?
Okay, I remember now. So number one, I think the biggest word, and we say it all the time, the C word, communication. I think if we would have had that communication back then, and if we would have had it and kept it going forward, I think we would have been, to Jessica's point, much tighter than we currently are. And as far as our parenting styles now, I think we adults more collectively as a group. So it's not about necessarily parenting.
Okay.
You know, I think, and again, this is my opinion, and I think there have been some offshoot conversations that we as parents have had, and what I like to call CTJ, some come to Jesus conversations for us as parents about how we're parenting, about some of the things that we're doing collectively. So I think, and again, this is my opinion, and this is for all blended families, the communication is the big piece back then and even now, more so now than back then, because we can't change back then. But if you're looking at us and you haven't started having that communication, intentional communication going forward is extremely important. And there are some scenarios that are happening with some of our children where that communication is broken. And if it's not fixed, you may encounter some of the pitfalls that we have. But prayerfully, as you move forward, if it's broken and you can't bridge it right now, that it does get better, because what we found is if we can communicate, it is better for our children. It is better for our grandchildren. So that's the most important thing for us, for me, is the communication. We can't change styles from back then. So I'll stop there.
But we have to be okay with our kids wanting to be adults, and we have to be okay with letting them be adults. I don't extend, and I remember you said this one day, you said, I wish I could be more free like you with the kids. Just don't care. And just be like, whatever. But I had to get to that point because I would overextend myself, and not even with just my kids, with people, I would constantly, because I'm a giver naturally. So I'm always giving. I'm always giving money, clothes, jewelry, time, just giving. And I had to really sit back and think, they didn't ask me to help them. I'm just offering. And am I offending them when I'm doing that? Because you can offend people by saying, here's a loaf of bread. And they're like, I didn't say I was hungry. And you could be actually offending people. And I don't want to be a person that's going to offend, but I also want you to learn your lesson, because there is always a lesson. It's always a teachable moment. So just like I want them to learn, I want them to glean that it's okay to ask, because a closed mouth don't get fed. And when they're adulting, they're going to have to get it out the mud sometimes. And I want them to get it out the mud, because then they'll appreciate it more. And I'm not one that's, I'm not a millionaire or anything, but when I can, I can. But I want them to know that they can always come and ask. I no longer, as I just said, just extend my hand to them. I wait for them to come.